Today I'm joined by Nelly Berova from Art Division. Nelly, how's it going?
Hello, David. Very well. Thank you very much.
Nelly and I have been having lots and lots of discussions off camera about AI. It's a huge topic at the moment. We've got several different age groups we were working on, and we were also talking about how agents use AI. But I think one way or the other, whatever our conclusions were privately, AI is pretty much here to stay. But it is also, I think, one of the big things that we touched on is changing the way that we search for things. So. I remember a day when we used to sort of say, well, I Googled it. I searched for whatever information that I needed. Now, here's a really interesting exercise for any agents that are watching this. Whatever your area is, so let's imagine it's Manchester and you went to Google right now and said, who is the best agent in Manchester or who are the best agents in Manchester? And you hit return, it will bring up a whole load of results. If you do the same search in ChatGPT as an AI, it will bring you up invariably very different results. So I think the discussion that we need to have when we talk about AI optimization is getting found. Because more people are relying on AI for searches, agents
Yeah.
now need to not just show up in the regular places, which is where we got well trained in SEO. We now need to be well trained to show up with AI as well. So, Nelly, tell us how you're going to help us do that.
Yes, absolutely. And you're totally right. I was looking at some statistics prior to this call, and I found that about 20 million people in the UK alone are already using ChatGPT to search for local businesses, and that's around 112% increase over the last 12 months. So that's huge, and that's a growing trend. And you're absolutely right. Agents should now look at their marketing not just from an SEO point of view, but from a GEO point of view. That's generative search optimization. Now, the good news is that 80% of what we're doing for SEO is exactly the same as what you should be doing for GEO. So if you're already doing SEO, and when I talk about SEO, I'm talking about proper optimization of content, proper technical structure of your website, as well as external link building. That will also help you with the mentions or the number of times you're being mentioned in GEO, in the likes of ChatGPT or Gemini or various of the other AI platforms. Now, there's, of course, that 20% difference between the two. And this is where we are most interested in. What is that 20%? What else should we be doing in order to ensure that our clients are featured in those type of searches more often than not? And of course, you're never going to be mentioned all the time, but just the same as we're talking about local market share, we equally want to have an AI market share in
Yeah.
how often your brand is
This
being
is an
mentioned.
opportunity for a new land grab, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And so what is that 20%, and what are we doing now in order to ensure that we've got a better opportunity out there? So again, from an SEO perspective, we still talk about content is king, but content is even more so king with AI. So in a way, we're going back in time when we used to write long guides on various of different things. So if you look at the difference between SEO and AI searches, really the main big difference is that in the likes of Google, you type in a short phrase. So, for example, I might be looking for a local agent and I'll type in estate agents in Manchester. And therefore, the bots will give me the paid campaigns, Google Maps, and the
Yeah.
organic results afterwards. I will then go through and I'll select whichever I like and I'll contact them. With AI, it's more conversational. So that's the main difference between the two, is that most likely the conversation will be more in line with, well, what are the average prices of a five-bed house in Manchester, and is now a good market to sell, and what kind of value should I expect to get? And perhaps I'll be asking various of different questions about exactly what I'm worried about right now. And at the back of this conversation, I may then say, could you please now give me the top 5 agents to help me sell my property? Now, at that point, um, I would have fed into the AI all the information about what I've got and what
Yeah.
I want, which is a lot more information that we put into the
It's,
likes
you
of a
know what?
Google
I
search.
never thought about that before because yeah, if I typed in, I don't know, I'm looking to sell my house into Google, I'll click on the results. I'll then go down a rabbit hole of looking at that site.
Yes,
With AI, you're having that conversation. It's, well, where are you looking for? What are you looking for? And then it will try and sort of narrow the search down, and then present you with results based on the,
based on that conversation,
yeah,
exactly. So now, when we're looking at content, we're looking at the content that we can fit into that conversation. Right. So the type of content that we are sort of now structuring and looking to structure on our websites, we call them silos. So
right.
silos are clusters of content, so groups of content that can be introduced onto the website as well. The other side of things as well is that if you've searched something on AI, let's just say after this conversation, I've asked for the top 5 estate agents. The 5 agents that the AI would list, some may link to the website of the agent, but some may link to another source.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily all link to the agent's websites, which clearly shows that the AI is not just using the agent's website as the source. It uses all content out there that exists to compile those results. And so we now also talk about listicles. Listicles are external mentions. So they're very similar to what we're doing for SEO, which is the link building side of it, but with a twist. So those are the kind of little differences between the SEO approach and the AI approach. And ultimately, it's all boiling down to content which is on the website, and content which is external of the website that equally is mentioning the brand. There's also a technical aspect of it as well. So yes, we still need to have a very clean HTML markups. We are now looking at updating our robots files. Those are technical kind of files that we can feed into the bots and invite bots to the site as well. We're talking about various of different schemas as well, and we're improving the schemas that we introduce on our websites by default. And we can also make the site more crawlable by all of those different engines. So technically, there are things as well that can be done. That's equally work in progress, because I don't believe there's anyone out there that has all the answers. It's a fairly new thing that we're all facing, and we're
I
learning
just
as we
want to
go
say
along.
to anybody watching or listening to this, if it's making your head hurt and you're getting kind of, that's great because you're there to market and to sell houses. That's your skill set. Somebody else knows how to deal with all this other stuff.
Yes.
That's Nelly.
I think it's good to know that those things can be done and should be done. So, obviously, if you already have a web design company that's looking after your marketing as well, those are the sort of questions to ask. Are they looking into this? What are they doing? How are they doing it? Obviously, this is something that we're doing for our clients, and we're investing time in order to improve the products that we produce with that in mind. But yes, it is very important to match both the technical aspect of a site together with the content aspect of a site to ensure that the AI will prefer you versus someone else when they're listing you.
It's fascinating. I think that it's almost like a growing list of, when you talk about marketing for estate agents, we have to market our own clients' properties, but we also have to then be able to market ourselves and knowing where to show up and what tools to use. And it's almost like a growing list of things. And when I opened that kit bag, it was just SEO was enough to have. Now I have all of this as well. So Nelly, practically speaking, bringing it back to art division, how are you helping agents get on top of that then?
We are already working with agents to run their SEO and their general marketing. So we're already producing a lot of content. What we're now investing quite a lot of time on is what changes do we need to make in the content that we produce? What additional content do we need to create? And like I mentioned, the silos here, what kind of silos should we be building for our clients? This is going to be a work in progress. We are fairly early on in how the whole thing works, and we're experimenting with stuff, and already we're seeing great results. So if you Google anything to do with the lettings market or the sales market, in fact, you are more likely going to see one of our clients being listed in AI than not. And that's purely because of the SEO work that we've done already. But what we want is to ensure that we take it to the next step. And we're doing that in the background. So with all of our existing marketing clients, we're already doing that work. It's not necessarily something that's in addition. But as we're learning, we're going to be looking at, what changes we need to make and, discussing that with the clients in order to collaborate on that, because I think it needs to be a collaboration, especially when it comes to content. So yes, with every marketing client, we definitely do both SEO and GEO now by default.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, you're in safe hands because, like I say, I have enough to do with actually selling houses, but getting shown up first of all and getting those leads in, I think, is something that we all worry about in terms of being able to be found in the place that people are searching. We spoke offline about different demographics, if you like. So, younger generation may use a certain search tool that might be linked to social media. The older generation invariably used to be big Google fanatics, but less so now. I mean, you mentioned 20 million people are searching using ChatGPT to search for things, and we're only scratching the surface. There are loads of iterations of AI out there, not just ChatGPT. There are
Yeah.
others. There's Gemini. There's all sorts of stuff floating around out there. Most of it free,
Yes.
most of it purporting to be entirely helpful, but it's only helpful if it shows your agency on there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows your agency in the right way as well,
Yeah.
because information can be perceived in different ways. If there is negative content about your brand out there, that can equally be picked up.
Yeah.
So in a way, companies can be exposed even more now if their brand as a whole, it doesn't have that kind of positive vibe around it. I mean, the other aspect of it that agents, they're already doing that, but should pay even more attention is their reviews, because reviews equally have a big impact on how the AIs pick up which agent to list. So that's one thing. If you're not paying much attention to your reviews, do. But reviews on multiple platforms. I know that Kerfuffle does that as part of
We
your
try
offering.
to, but you're right. It's something that AI always seems to sort of pick up on as anything that can be verified
Yes.
as a review.
There's a review,
Yeah.
exactly that. So, and making sure that you are listed on all the good quality authoritative websites that provide reviews. They will definitely impact the results within AI. So, marketing is not just one trick. It's many different aspects all working together. And I don't personally believe that one agency can solve all the problems for a brand. I think that the company needs to have a more holistic approach to marketing and utilize people like ourselves to help them with certain aspects that might be a bit too technical or might be a bit too time consuming, but that needs to be a direction for the business and for the brand as a whole to ensure that they're being listed and their visibility is as great as it can be.
Well, fascinating stuff. Nelly, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David.